So again, we're going to be asked to factor. Now, the terminology is important. Factor means I'm going to look for the greatest common factor. Sometimes. And sometimes we're going to do the guess and check method like we did on the first example. But in this particular case, I've got 14x squared plus 35x. Now, if you don't remember how to do the greatest common factor, it's something that you learned in middle school. The greatest common factor, when Mr. Adams was talking about prime factorization, we basically think of the prime numbers. Which are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, and so on and so forth. They're only divisible by 1 in themselves. So if I look at 14, 14 is 2 times 7. If I look at 35, 35 is 5 times 7. Now the greatest common factor, right? The greatest common factor they have is they only have 2 in common, that's 7. Now, this is a long way to do this, but it's the best way to kind of understand what the common factor is. They both have a 7, so that means I could pull out a 7. Now, we could do the same thing with the x's. I have an x squared term, right? Well, how do you get x? X times x. And then I have x, which is just x. So what do they have in common? They just have x's. They just have one x, x to the first power. So then I got to think backwards. What do I multiply by? Like it's distributive property backwards. Okay. What do I multiply 7x by to get 14x squared? Well, 7 times 2 gives me 14, and then x times x gives me x squared. Next, what's 7 multiplied by to get 35? 5. What's x multiplied by to get x? Just 1, and I don't write the 1 down. So this is the factored answer. It's the distributive property in reverse when you think about it. Let me clean this up a little bit. That looks a little too far away.